We begin tonight with more fallout from protests at UC San Diego over the war in Gaza, as some seniors who were expecting to graduate this weekend have been told there's a hold on their diplomas. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. CBS 8's David Godfredson has been following this story since the arrests on campus of more than 60 people back on May 6th. And as David reports tonight, the city attorney says misdemeanor charges have now been forwarded to their office.
Word that 7 UC San Diego seniors have had holds placed on their graduations came during a protest on campus Thursday when academic workers marched against the war in Gaza. A spokesperson for the university confirms the holds were ordered by the UC Board of Regents, saying in a statement, all students who were arrested on campus for violating the law must go through the applicable student conduct process. 40 students and 2 professors were arrested on campus on May 6th. Under UC San Diego policy, a student conduct case can take more than a month to resolve. Students receive an email informing them of the disciplinary action, triggering a review hearing where both the university and the student are allowed to call witnesses and give closing statements. After that, it can take more than 2 weeks for a decision letter to be mailed, and even then, the student has a right to appeal the decision. Seeing as UC San Diego's graduation is set for this coming weekend, it seems unlikely that any of those students will get to walk in commencement ceremonies. But in the end, they may still receive their degrees depending on their individual review decisions.
End the genocide in Gaza.
One of the 2 professors arrested during the protests told me she was given paperwork ordering her to appear in court on June 17th. The city attorney emailed me a statement on Friday saying, in part, UC San Diego Police Department has begun referring cases to our office for possible misdemeanor prosecution. Our prosecutors will now review the facts of each case to determine whether a crime occurred. There's a chance a large number of students arrested here at UC San Diego will have to appear in downtown court on Monday afternoon. We'll keep tabs on the situation and let you know what happens. At UC San Diego, David Godfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. The San Diego City Council is set to vote tomorrow on a final budget for the next fiscal year.
Mayor Todd Gloria's revised budget totals about $5.8 billion. Some proposed investments include $88 million for stormwater infrastructure upgrades and $200 million to help address housing and homelessness. Some community members say they want to see more money allocated to things like city parks or a relief fund for flood victims.
That budget also includes money for the mayor's proposed 1,000-bed shelter at Kettner and Vine. The city has been in negotiations with the property owner for months now, and council members held their third closed-door discussion about the possible lease today. Latest word on that lease is that it would be $1.9 million a year for up to 35 years. That's in addition to $18 million needed for improvements to the building. So far, only a couple of council members have said that they support this plan. If the budget is passed, the 1,000-bed shelter will still have to go through a separate approval process. New details tonight about the shark attack last week in Del Mar.
CBS 8's Steve Price spoke today with scientists who are working to figure out the shark's motivation for that attack. He joins us live now from Del Mar with more on that and what we're learning about the victim. Steve?
And Marcel and Carlos, some great news to report. Caleb Adams is now out of the hospital and is back home recovering. Meanwhile, for scientists, the search for answers continues. New pictures of Caleb Adams before the shark bite. His family gave us the photos and the great news that he's out of the hospital. It happened a week ago Sunday. Caleb swimming with a club in Del Mar when the shark bit him in the chest.
When I saw how bad it was for the first time, I realized I don't want him to see this, and so I just tried to cover up with my hand so that he wouldn't look down.
Cameron Whiting and Kevin Barrett heard Caleb's screams, raced over to help him, and brought him to shore. After spending several days in the hospital and undergoing surgery, Caleb is now recovering at home.
We're always trying to figure out why these incidents occur.
Dr. Chris Lowe with the Cal State Long Beach Shark Lab is now running a series of tests to figure out what kind of shark took a bite out of Caleb, how many of them are in the area, and how long they stick around in one spot.
The DNA results we probably won't get back probably for a couple weeks to a couple months.
Dr. Lowe is also hoping they figure out why the shark bit Caleb in the first place.
Whether it's feeding related, whether it's defensive related, it's hard to tell. So the more information we can get, the better.
This past weekend, sharks attacked 3 people in Florida. A 15-year-old girl and a 45-year-old woman both lost limbs. All of the victims are expected to survive, but it begs the question, why is this happening? Dr. Lowe believes climate change is a factor, with more people heading to the beach to escape the heat.
Remember, shark populations are recovering because of conservation and management, which is good. But you're putting more and more people in the water than ever before.
That said, Dr. Lowe says bites are still extremely rare, and Caleb's swim club buddies agree. They've already returned to the water, but are taking more precautions, including swimming closer together as a group. In fact, swimming in groups was a safety tip that Dr. Lowe passed along to me, along with not swimming at dusk or at dawn. He's also recommending that folks swim near lifeguard towers so you have that extra set of eyes on you. Marcella?
Good advice. You can't be too careful out in the water, Steve. We are experiencing red tides along our coast right now as well. Does Dr. Lowe think that might have any effect on the shark's behavior?
Marcella, I actually asked him exactly about the red tide, and he's actually seen instances where sharks don't like it, avoid it, try to go to different areas, but then he's also seen sharks that don't seem to mind it, and they come to the area. But the one thing he did say that is a concern is that that red tide causes the water out there to get very murky, tough to see, and he says the sharks can become disoriented and not know what they're coming into, which could be a problem for swimmers and surfers.
That's interesting. The sharks can't really see what's happening around them, and then also the swimmers can't really see what's happening in the waters around. All right, some good advice there. Thanks so much, Steve.
A new service is connecting the Coaster system to more locations in San Diego.
Starting today, the Coaster Connection shuttle service will offer transportation between the Sereno Valley Coaster Station to stops across Sereno Valley, UTC, and Torrey Pines. People who have the Coaster Regional or Premium Regional daily and monthly passes can access unlimited trips on the Coaster Connection at no extra cost. The North County Transit District says this helps get people to the stations and home from it. They call it the first last mile option and say it is a way to help passengers fight back against high gas prices. Big changes are coming to Brownfield Municipal Airport. A groundbreaking ceremony was held today for a new redevelopment project. It will bring a brand new terminal, a hotel, restaurant, office space, and new hangars to Otay Mesa. The project is expected to bring a total economic impact of $1.5 billion and more than 2,500 jobs over the next 50 years. We're told the project will be completed in 4 phases over the next 20 years.
On top of prices going up these days, you may not be getting what you think you're paying for. A CBS 8 viewer tells us 7-Eleven's extra-large coffee cup holds less than you might think by looking at it. CBS 8's Anna Laurel is working for you to see if the convenience chain's coffee cups are measuring up.
This is the cup a viewer asked us about. I just went inside and got one. There are no signs inside that tell you, and this cup will not say exactly how much fits in this cup. I did find sizing on the company's website, so we put it to the test. How much liquid are you actually getting in your 7-Eleven coffee cup? CBS 8 viewer Arturo says 7-Eleven extra-large coffee cups are not as deep as they seem from the outside. He wrote to CBS 8 and says there's now about 3/4 of an inch gap from the bottom of the actual cup that's hollow. It also doesn't say how many ounces the cup is anymore.
Why do you think this makes consumers so mad?
No one likes to get cheated. And, if you pay for a pound, you want a pound. If you pay for a quart, you want a quart.
I reached out to Edgar Dworsky. He's with consumerworld.org. He's tracked consumer prices and sizes for decades. He tells me companies shrink products rather than charge you more because consumers pay more attention to price than size.
Consumers are not net weight conscious. They don't check the size of the package or box before they buy, so they might get away with a more sneaky price increase, giving you less for the same money.
According to the 7-Eleven website, their 4 sizes of coffee cups are 12 ounces, 16 fluid ounces, 20, and 24 ounces. So what we did is we got a corresponding fluid ounce of a drink. This is a 24 ounce. And again, going all the way down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour these drinks into these cups and see if they really measure up. Okay, so here's the 12 ounce. Okay, pretty good, 7-Eleven. Whoa, hope you like your coffee black. I mean, that is right there at it. So as you can see, this 24-ounce drink that we poured into this extra large 7-Eleven cup, it would not fit, spilling over.
I reached out to 7-Eleven to find out if they recently changed cups or sizing. They have not gotten back to me. Working for you in San Diego, this is Anna Laurel for CBS 8.
Remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. And tonight we'd like you to invite you to join Marcella tomorrow morning for Alzheimer's San Diego's Date with a Cure.
We will be up early. It is a very insightful virtual event presented by Sharp Healthcare this year. And it gives you, the public, a unique opportunity to get your questions answered about Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. You will be able to ask your questions directly to leading local doctors, researchers, and scientists about what's new in the fight against Alzheimer's disease and what advancements have been made to find a cure. The forum starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. and will go until 11 a.m. And trust me, those 2 hours fly by. I've done this for a few years now. I'll be moderating and will ask your questions to our panelists. It's free, but you do need to register. You can find a link on our website, cbs8.com. Just click on the hot button.
And there's a lot of very interesting, exciting news going on in that world, in research. It's definitely worth checking out tomorrow.
And we have so many local researchers who are right in the thick of it, trying to find a cure and slow the process at least.
It is. Finally getting some therapies that start to show progress, though. First time ever. San Diego Girl Scouts, they're helping with fire prevention efforts.
We'll show you how coming up in an Earth 8 report. Plus, a warning from San Diego researchers about so-called magic mushrooms and what they want you to be aware of.
But first, a summer camp that's making quite the splash for children and young adults with autism.
All right, along the coast today, we had some stubborn cloud cover out there. 67 degrees right now for downtown. You also have some light wind speeds, a little less of the cloud cover across inland areas next couple days. I'll let you know why.